What do you think the purest form of love?
Well, first and foremost, I'll say it for this. I'll split it into two. Like the very, very purest form of love is the love that I receive from God. That is the purest form because he loves without expecting anything in return. Because even if we don't love him, he always loves us. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's unconditional love. His love is not conditional at all. So he loves us without expecting us to love him back. And even if we don't, he does anyway. So I believe is the purest form of love. But I guess from a worldly standpoint, from like for our standards, for us, I'll say it would be like the same thing, just loving somebody without having expectations of anything in return. Doing for somebody, spreading that love and kindness without expecting it back. I believe that's the purest form of love that there is.
Facts, facts. How important is purity? Like when people like focusing on relationships.
For me now, like especially now within like these past few months, is really important to me because I want to know that I can actually be loved without having to give you my body in order for you to love me. I want to feel like I can be loved without it being overcome by lust. You know what I mean? I want to be able to share experiences and have intimate moments with my partner without it turning sexual, you know? Because really, I prefer more romantic intimacy than sexual intimacy any day. Like, that's just sex, period. But even before I went on my purity journey, like, that was just me. I would prefer that anyway.
How,
Because it
how
takes a energy out of your body when you have sex, you know?
right? How long have you been on your purity journey?
I'll say I've been on it for like I said, the past 3 months.
That's good. That's good. Like it being purity, did it open up your eyes to certain things, and what has it opened up your eyes to?
It has opened up my eyes in certain aspects. Like it really just a lot of it, like I already saw like a lot of dudes that I would attract would want that, but it's like it really just opened my eyes to like just how scarce it is, like the scarcity of like people who are on the same path that I'm on, and it's like it's rare to find somebody who has the same values as you, especially when it comes to purity and to just having a committed relationship without sex. Because anytime I talk to somebody, I'll be like, that's one of the first things I bring up. Like, hey, I'm celibate. Like, I'm not interested in having a relationship that, has sex in it until I'm married. And, that'll wean a lot of people out. Like, it definitely weans a lot of those options. Like, people think they have options, but it's like, when you really look at it, do you, though? Because do their values align with your values?
Facts.
Is their mindset aligning with your mindset? And so it's like, do you really have options, or do you have, like, you don't really have options? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you have people that want to have sex with you. A lot of people get it misconstrued.
Exactly.
I agree, though. I think a lot of people don't have options. I think they got a lot of distractions.
Yeah, definitely a lot of distractions. Definitely, it's more so they have people that want them, but they don't really have a lot of options within those people.
Facts. I totally agree. I definitely think so. Why do you think this culture is so driven on sex, though? It's pushed into music, sex, money, murder, violence, and drugs.
Honestly, I feel like the culture is a reflection of, I guess, our culture. The way that everybody views everything is a reflection of what's in our media, what's in our music. Because a lot of, like, when we consume a lot of something, we start to, like, internally, like, we start to keep it up here, and we start to keep it in our hearts and in our spirits the more we, like, in tune, which is why I've been trying to cut out like secular music and secular shows like that. Like I try not to listen to it. Like if I can help it, like I won't willingly go out and like listen to Sexy Red. There's nothing against Sexy Red. Like it's nothing against her as a person. I just don't agree with the type of music she makes.
Right, right.
It doesn't sit right with my spirit.
Yeah, it's just terrible. I think she said, "My pussy pink, my booty hole brown." I was like, "Whoa!" And then she said, "My son looking for a new pappy." I was like, "Oh my god, this is disgusting."
Oh my god.
This is
okay. I have a question too. To add on to that, why do you? Okay, what like? With that being said, with the whole sexual immorality being really pushed in our music, it also comes with like that baby mama and like baby daddy culture also being pushed, like that agenda. Like I feel like in this day and age, especially with like this generation of people, it's more normalized to like not have strong family values. Like
yeah, it's in the music. It's in the music pushing that. Right, it's in the music pushing that. No families, just have bitches, hoes, and sluts. Have a bunch of kids, do drugs, have fun, just party. I mean, everybody don't want to be a hoe. Everybody don't want to be a city girl or be a city boy. Some people want families. I think a lot of people want family. They don't want to. A lot of people want marriage and families and to be settled down, but they're not saying it because they're trying to fit in with the culture and be cool.
Exactly. Now it's not cool to be a family man, or a modest woman, or just modest in general. Like not even just a modest woman, but a modest male too. That goes for men too, because a lot of people think modesty just falls on the woman, but it also falls on the men. A lot of men are immodest too. Like
right.
It's not just the ladies. That's mostly what we see, but it's also it's also the men too.
Do you think sexual immorality affects someone's character, their morals? It's based on their morals?
That's a tough. I don't believe so, honestly, because the act of having sex, I really feel like doesn't really have much to do with your morals. More of like just, how do I put this? I'm gonna just give an example, because when my morals are somewhat still the same, like my core morals and values, like be kind to other people, respect other people, don't do unto others that I want it done unto myself. And I really feel like by me having sex, that's not really going against my morals, more so going against my values. Because it's the difference between like, your morals and then your values, you know what I mean? Like, sex isn't just something I value anymore. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to disrespect people that have sex, or I'm disrespecting somebody that I'm having sex with. But now my values have changed too. My morals have stayed the same, more or less, but my values have changed, So I don't think sexual immorality affects your morals unless it's to the point where you're disrespecting women, you're sexualizing them, and you're just being disrespectful all around, sexualizing them.
Wait. Let me say this. What about the women disrespecting themselves with OnlyFans and their wives and mothers, and they're dressing provocative on social media and in public? Don't you feel like they disrespecting themselves?
Honestly, and I feel like that is a little disrespectful to yourself, because like it says in the Bible, our bodies are temples. We know we're made with love, and God has made us to be these like creatures of, it's like I'm trying to find the word for it, but it's like it's not coming to me. But it's like God wants us to respect ourselves, or like he says, our bodies are a temple. We must treat it as such. So for us to go flaunting around our naked bodies, or to be selling ourselves, because that's really a lot of what we're doing. We're selling our bodies. And it doesn't have to be selling it for money, but selling it for views, selling it for attention, selling whatever you're selling it for. At the end of the day, we're selling ourselves.
Yeah, I feel like basically
whatever you do is a reflection of, like, especially if you have kids. If you know you wouldn't want your kids to be up on the internet, shaking their tail or dressing half naked, dressing provocatively, then lead by example. Don't do that, especially when you bring kids into this world, because when you bring kids into this world, it's your responsibility to raise them to be the next adults, to raise them to be, whether they come out morally right, on have a good moral compass, or they turn out to be just like everybody else in this generation.
Right.
Honestly, it saddens me to see, like.
Let me say this too. And for the most part, I think a lot of these women don't even care that they got OnlyFans with children, and their kids gonna end up getting bullied, picked on. I think the kids can commit suicide doing this stuff right here, and they don't even realize the trauma. Some of their parents and relatives don't even speak to them because they do this right here, and they're just selling themselves so cheap for a couple bucks though and some fame.
And then I've heard I've watched a lot of interviews of people who have done OnlyFans, who have done like adult videos, and they look back on it and be like, I low key kind of regret doing that, because it was just like, you're putting your body on full display for the whole world to see. Something that's supposed to be sacred between you and your partner, your husband, your wife. And it's like, the fact that your child at any point can look up your name and find you on the internet and find you naked on the internet, it's like, see, when I think about it like that, it's like, it doesn't sit right with me, because at any point, like, your grandma, your mom, your cousins, your own child can look up your name and go look at you on Twitter or find your OnlyFans and see you have naked on
Right. And the crazy part about it is,
you see how everybody was like, back a while ago when that Freaknik documentary came out on Hulu.
Yeah.
How everybody was on there like, dang, my mama was really like, bro, like, it's like,
yeah,
it's like kind of like,
right,
you're acting like that. And it's like, it's not to judge anybody, because I try to say that without having judgment, because it's not my place to judge or condemn anybody. Only God can judge us. But it's like, it's just not a lifestyle that I want to live, me personally.
We gotta move on. But yeah, I feel like basically at that point though, when black women say I gotta do what I gotta do, that means basically selling their ass. At that point, I gotta do what I gotta do. So when they say that right there, I already know what that means. I had to do what I had to do. I had to get it how I live. So I already know. But what is your coping mechanism?
Like, just with like what, like
with anything. What is your coping mechanism?
First thing I do, I'll pray. I'll talk to God, and I like walking. Walking is a very good coping mechanism for me, because like, it allows me to be physically moving, to clear my head, to focus on like what's around me. Like, I'll focus on the how the weather feels, the wind's blowing on my skin, like some flowers I see, the trees swaying. Like, it's very calming. It's like a sense of tranquility that comes from being in nature and walking around and talking with God. Especially when I'm talking and walking with God, is really relaxing. Like I said, it's a little tranquility that comes with that, and I really enjoy it. So I would say that's one of like my coping mechanisms. Another one is journaling. That's another way I talk to God. This is another form of prayer that a lot of people don't know about, is through journaling, writing to God, writing letters, like a prayer board. I have a prayer board now, or normally I'll just journal in my notebook. But I'll say those are like my top two coping mechanisms.
Right, fast. Okay, what you feel like hurts you the most though? What hurts the most?
What hurts the most?
Yeah.
Honestly, something that really hurts me the most, especially since it's something I've struggled with, is finding out that a relationship I'm in, like, just the way they view me, I guess, like I know we moved on from the topic, but viewing me as a sexual object. Or really what disappoints me even more is when I have male friends, because I've had this happen before too. I've had male friends who would just pretend to be my friend because the whole time they wanted to hunch. That disappoints me more than anything, because it goes back to that internalized like mindset of like, dang, this is how everybody's gonna view me. Like, this is how people are going to view me for the rest of my life. And I know that's like the enemy trying to get into my head and make me doubt myself and, talk bad about myself. But it's like sometimes I can't help but to feel that way just because of my reactions with men, like just throughout my life. And that's like the most disappointing thing that I've dealt with from like a young age. Like, and it's like it's heartbreaking really, because it's like you like, and I know a lot of women feel like that, like, dang, I'm like, this is all that people really value me for. And then I feel like that's a lot of the reason why some women do turn to doing OnlyFans. They do turn to doing adult videos and stuff like that, because they feel like this is the only thing that, you know, she has a value. Like, she doesn't believe anything else.
Right, and a lot of them has been sexually abused and molested by that uncle of some family member, that auntie or somebody. So they need therapy. I believe in therapy and theology, therapy and prayer at the same time. They need therapy. They need to seek counseling. They need help. Okay, what's the quickest way for any guy to lose respect for you?
Goes back to it, like being too quick to talk about something sexual. Like, I've only been talking for a day, and then he all with that mouth, dude, dang, you thick. Like, it just automatically, like, it's a side eye for me, because I'm just like, is that really all you care about? You couldn't even wait like a week or two before even like bringing something like that up. Like, and it's like, it's honestly like annoying to me. Like, it's gotten to the point where it's not like just like awkward or like no, it's like now it's to a point where it's like annoying to me, because it's just like, is this all y'all think about? Like, is this all you think about? Like, do you have like any goals for yourself? Is this all you want to do, is go and hunch on people?
Right.
And it's just annoying to me. Like, somebody who's just too caught up in that lustful mindset. Like, I don't like stuff like that. I feel like get anything from you, because what do you offer me but sex?
Facts.
Really?
And what do you think the difference between lust and love?
Love, honestly, love is good. Love is everlasting. Love is not gonna have you feeling confused. It's not going to have you feeling disgusted with yourself. It's not going to have you feeling all these negative emotions, because if it does, it's not love, period. So, and lust is just, it's a feeling. It's a reaction. It's a bodily reaction that you get from seeing something that, you know, you're sexually attracted to. Like, I still even deal with lust. Like, yeah, I see some people like, yeah, you know,